heart attack, fast fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new submerged juice. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember you're discreet now, get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kyusho here, and now, before we do continue, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, quite a number of things have happened. Now, in the last part we had Deku and Shigaraki. These two, they were locked in a heated battle. Heroes have shown up and tried to help. However, Deku, yeah, he's actually struggling against Shigaraki, and that does say quite a bit about everything he's faced up until this point. Now, Shigaraki has a multitude of quirks in Deku. He is facing off against somebody with a similar ability to his own. Both possess All for One, and right now Shigaraki also does possess a copy quirk, a teleportation quirk, and multiple other abilities that seemingly make him unbeatable. Now, Deku, he has not given up yet. The two have made prolonged physical contact, so he knows every quirk Shigaraki has, he must have as well. Now, that being said, Deku took Mirio's quirk, One for All. He copied the ability and actually siphoned away some of the power. Now, Mirio is alarmed. The last time Deku went into contact with One for All, he mutated heavily for about a day, and his quirk was thrown out of whack. Now, Deku, he did something even worse this time. He actually possesses the ability. And right now Deku, he does possess enough of that power to make him a threat to Shigaraki. And right now Shigaraki, yeah. Him and Deku have both hit Singularity. Their points are about up there. However, Deku, he's way above Shigaraki now. And Shigaraki, well, he can keep trying to climb this ladder that Deku is doing. There's only one problem. At one point, one of their bodies will give up. And right now, they're trying to figure out exactly who that might be. Now then, with that being said, we do actually have Deku, who is standing there heavily mutated, as him and Shigaraki, they've been clashing. And the two, they're still trying to discover who will win, good or evil. Deku or, well, this monster in front of him. The one who shouldn't even be classified as a man anymore. Now, Deku, him and Shigaraki, they do stare each other down. As right now their actions on Deku, he does bring his hands up and massively blast the area with his power. Now, him and Shigaraki, they do both watch what happens. The entire ground shakes under Deku. And right now after Deku does go flying backwards, he actually has two of his large hands, which do go blasting backwards and using their quirk. Deku pushing off with flying abilities. Now, Deku does go rocketing in. And right now Shigaraki, he immediately does bring his hand up. Him getting ready, as he does try to attempt to use Deku's ability. Now, Shigaraki attempts to try and use Deku's ability to turn into material. And right now Deku, he does watch a few things happen. Shigaraki tries to turn himself directly into concrete. And Deku, he is surprised and annoyed. However, he does watch what Shigaraki does do. Bring his hands backwards and enlarging them, before rushing forward towards Deku and trying to meet him. Now, the moment the two do clash, Deku, he's hit by the force of a truck. And right now after Deku does go flying backwards and bring his hands up to try and grab onto Shigaraki's arm, he immediately puts all four hands onto Shigaraki's arm, starting to decay it. Now, Shigaraki does immediately bring his hand up, him with his left arm smashing into the concrete and breaking it away, as he's going to Shigaraki step backwards and fly forwards once again. And right now he actually has tried to bring his hand out. He wants One for All. If he takes that quirk, then he can be unstoppable. He's already so powerful. And right now, Deku opening his eyes and using Eraser's ability. As whenever he does bring his hand up, he does immediately slash Shigaraki apart. Now, Shigaraki, he's struck by the strings. And right after his arms go flying down to the ground, Deku immediately does start to dice him up more. Left, right, over and over and over again. Now, Deku does watch Shigaraki. As whenever he does sit there on the ground, Deku, he does actually bring up his dragon hand. Him bringing it up and blasting down the flames. Now, Deku, after he does go to somewhat blink his eyes, he actually does watch down below. As the crispy bits, as they are seen, he does look at many of them. The quirk must be able to keep him alive here. Okay, but where? How? How is he? Deku's seeing something roll. And whenever he does Deku get a turn and look at it, the actions where Deku, he does feel something blast directly upwards and into his skull. Now, Deku, he immediately does go cross-eyed. Before, he actually does somewhat go to step forwards and try to regain his balance. As their actions where Shigaraki, he does actually morph out of the ground. Him getting up and grabbing onto the metal piece. As Deku does focus on Shigaraki, his eyes, they're not doing too good right now. And why does everything smell like pennies? Now, Deku, he's very confused. And right now, he is trying to understand what the hell's going on. But then he does watch. The way he came up out of the ground. That piece of material. What is that? Now, Shigaraki, he doesn't say a word. As he does morph it down into his hand, and Deku does watch. And right now he does try to think. Metal. No, that's not metal, is it? What is that? Now, Deku, he does have an idea. If it's metal, then Shigaraki would try and turn his body into it. But it's not. So it's organic. But if it's organic, then it's part of an ability, right? Now, Deku, he actually stares at Shigaraki, bringing his hands up and grabbing on and twisting the thing in his head. As whenever Deku does something to step backwards, he actually watches as something does fall onto the ground. Now, Deku does look down, before staring directly up as his head starts to heal. And Shigaraki, he does look at Deku, asking if he does feel a bit scatterbrained. And Deku does look directly at him, bringing his hand up and using one simple ability. As right now, Deku, he does immediately bring his hand up and blast at him with earth. Now, Deku, he does immediately use Overhaul. And right after ripping Shigaraki apart as he does try to blast backwards, he does try to get away. And Deku does try to take that moment. Him searching in his own body. Okay, where is it? Where is it? Okay, the quirk. Something like that. Where are you? Now, Deku does find it. As right now, he actually started to bring his hand up and activate it. However, he does find that the quirk has already been active. He can't shut it off. And right now, he actually is going to bring his hand up and out of his mouth, spit out some sort of metal container. And Deku does stare down at it. What is this? Deku brings his hand up and grabbing onto it. As the moment he does slightly apply pressure, he does feel a mental bombardment of pain. Now, Deku, he actually is going to stop squeezing it, putting it back down into his own hand and realizing this is the quirk keeping Shigaraki alive. A metal ball. No, wait a minute. This is his brain. So, it's not a worm quirk that's keeping him alive. It's some sort of supercell. Now, Deku, he's happy. He knows how to kill Shigaraki. And right now, Shigaraki, after he was getting back away, he actually just come blasting back in. And Deku, he does look up, as right now he actually does go to turn and run. Right now activating One for All, as he does have a few ideas. Now, we do actually cut over to Deku's copy, the one who was using Plan B. Plan A was fighting Shigaraki. And right now this version of Deku, he's quite alarmed by a few things that have happened. Right now he is waiting. He is waiting for a signal. He's still under the assumption that shooting Shigaraki in the head could kill him. And right now, while that is the best idea he does have another one. He could go get the Quirk Destroyers. Or he can help Deku by getting a massive amount of energy. And the two can recombine. And that is where things get a bit tricky. The idea he has right now in his head is to siphon the power grid from the entire city. And, well, see exactly how far he could ride the lightning. Now, right now we do actually have that copy of Deku, who, whenever he does bring his hands out, he does grab onto a metal container, him ripping it open as he actually just turns his body directly into steel, and go directly drop it before bringing his hands up, grabbing onto a few of the wires and getting ready. Now, a lot of people do start to notice many things, and right now, there actually with this version of Deku, he does not scream out after beginning to absorb this power. Now, we do actually have back over Deku. Right now, Deku, he actually is getting things in order. As right now, every Godoki split into two, there actually is where one does go flying upwards into the air, and another does start to run around the area. Now, Deku, he does bring his hands down. As right now, whenever two of the massive hands do go onto the ground, the axis of the area is being destroyed behind him, and it is being absorbed into Deku's body. Right now, he is storing this inside of him, using Overhaul and getting ready. As there actually is where Deku, when he does go flying upwards into the air, Shigaraki, he does give chase. And right now, he doesn't pay attention to the large puff of smoke that popped up. He just knows that Deku, he's right there. And when he does go charging towards him, there actually is where Deku does immediately go to turn and go to use Eraser's quirk. Now, the moment Shigaraki does see that, he actually does lose all forward thrust. And right now, he is flying directly towards Deku. And Deku, he himself does get ready. As right now, there actually does go directly blast forwards and bring his arm outwards, him clotheslining Shigaraki as he smash him with part of his bicep, before immediately bringing his hands up and spinning and grabbing directly onto him. As right now, there actually is the Deku who's on the ground. As whenever he does go bring his hands up and blasting upwards into the air, he does immediately see Deku, the two smashing into Shigaraki. As right now, whenever the force of this Deku from the ground hits into Shigaraki, he does get destroyed immediately, and Deku's body does turn to slime. As right now, Shigaraki, he is encased in this ability. Now, he is trying to get out of this, and right now, whenever he does try to bring his hands up to use Decay, he's trying to touch anything he can. Right now, he needs to get out of this ball of slime. Now, there actually is currently Deku, who he does use his quirk, and right now, bring metal spikes directly into the ball. Him blasting the metal into this, well, ball, and trying to stab Shigaraki. And Shigaraki, he does start to slightly panic. As whenever he does figure out what Deku's trying to do, he does know that he has found the quirk. Now, Shigaraki, he does bring his hands up. And right now, he does get ready. Him trying to teleport out of this is right now, Shigaraki, he does find a limitation to this quirk. And Deku does feel Shigaraki attempt to try and use that ability. Now, Deku does try to think, where can they go? A place Shigaraki can't be. A place he can't destroy. A place he's limited. And right now, Deku, he does have one idea. The beach. Over the water. If they fly there, they can't destroy things. His copy, he could have a clear shot for miles. And if they even miss, it wouldn't hit anything. Shigaraki, he's more dangerous on the ground. But there he can't use that quirk unless he touches Deku and tries to decay him. Now, Deku, obviously, he's a bit annoyed by this. And right now, he actually does attempt to try and use teleportation. Now, whenever Deku does poof away, there actually is where the two would pop back onto the beach. And right now, after Shigaraki, he does get free, he actually does look around. Noticing the area has changed, as right now he does look down towards Deku, as Deku's body does go blasting downwards and into the sand. And Shigaraki, he does go to blast down at Deku, trying to attack him. As right now he does smash directly down and into Deku, there actually is where Deku, his body, it disintegrates. Shigaraki grabbing at the sand and looking at it. As right now he just doesn't laugh, thinking that he might have won. He did it. He decayed him. He won. Now, Shigaraki, he does start to laugh like a madman. And right now, he actually does try to take a breath. Him actually spitting up blood as there is when he does bring his hand up. Him going to look down at it, as right now he does take stock of the situation. His body, it's advanced, but why? Him, he's not perfect. Now, Deku does tell Shigaraki, he does have to agree. It does seem to be that way. And right now Shigaraki does look around, confused by what that sound is. As Deku, he does try and tell him, right now that sound is quite simple. The sound is easy. Shigaraki's gone mad. He's in his head. Now, Shigaraki, he does disagree. And right now Deku does try to tell him, well, of course he would. No one would willingly be insane. But then again, there's what he did, right? There's all that he did. And right now Shigaraki, he actually is engulfed in a puff of smoke. As he does look around. You know, I do have to say though, even dead, I can still mess with you. You absorbed me, Shigaraki. No, I didn't. I killed you, just like I killed them. Your mother? Your father? The abusive man that he was? Your father was a terrible person. Your grandmother, Nana Shimura, she was a good person. Yes, I was. Now, Shigaraki does someone gonna look up. Him staring directly at Nana. As right now he actually does also see his sister. And right now he's confused. They're dead. And then he does see his mother. As Shigaraki does stare directly at them and shout at them that he already put them behind him. They're all fucking dead. He would do it again. Him smashing his hands out forwards into the sand. And right now their actions under the sand does start to decay. However, the three, they don't disappear. And Shigaraki, he does stare on, confused. They're dead! They're dead! Him smashing his hands down over and over. And right now the nearby city does start to suffer from it. As there actually is somebody here who, they're quite intrigued by the series of events. They were going towards the battlefield. And right now they did happen to pass by. They were just on their way to that city. They cleaned up Tartarus and got the villains contained. And right now the urgent matter that they heard about, yeah. Right now it does seem to have shifted focus. Now, Stars and Stripes does immediately land on the beach. Her floating there in the air, as right now she actually does look at Shigaraki, who right now he might as well be some insane little kid throwing around the sand. As right now he's just somewhat screaming out over and over, smashing his hands down, almost like he's a kid in a bath. Now, Deku does continue these games. He needs to try and zero in on it, find out where it is, and if he does strike it, knock it out of his body, he can destroy it. It's gotta be what's keeping him together, right? I mean, it must be what's keeping him together. That's why he buried it down deep. If they find it, if he finds it, could he die? I mean, it must be his brain. Now, currently their actions over Deku, he does try to reform his own body. And he actually has someone appear behind Shigaraki telling him, right now he's crazy. And he doesn't want to turn, staring directly at Deku, as he does see the normal form of him. You've gone mad, Shigaraki. Him taking a step forwards. As right now Stars and Stripes just watch the current scene. As there's something happening here? What is this? Now, Stars and Stripes just watch on. As whenever Deku does someone to go to pop out from the ground, she just look down. Her somewhat alarmed, as Deku is trying to tell her, don't interfere. He has this under control. Right now, civilians have died. Do you even know how many people have died in that city? And now he's here? Sorry. This place is evacuated, right? I know this is one of the listed cities, but tell anyone you can to get out of here. If they don't, they could become collateral damage. Now, Stripe is obviously confused. As right now Deku is trying to explain, Right now, he found out what is keeping Shigaraki alive. Killing him has been proven to be nearly impossible, but if he does hit it at the right time, he'll get it. And right now, that's what he's hoping for. Now, there actually is the copy of Deku, who right now he actually tries to use his powers. And right now, he actually is feeling something odd. The city, it stopped shaking, and they're gone. Him actually is not trying to think about what to do. His power isn't good, and right now, he's worried. Right now, he has all this energy built up, and he needs to get rid of it. Now, Deku does try to turn and fly, thinking about where he would go, a place he would be, and what may have happened. And right now, whenever he does start to hear reports from the news, and even heroes about another city shaking the way this one did, he does make his way towards that one. Now, Deku blasts off with as much energy as he can, and right now he does need to burn through this this reserve he just stockpiled. Now, currently there actually is Deku, who he does go to get ready for an attack. Shigaraki, he does sit there just laughing. And right now there actually is where Deku, he does use this, telekinesis quirk to immediately smash and sandwich Shigaraki's entire body. As whenever he does do so, there actually is where he does try to manipulate it and change it. Now, Shigaraki, he does try to bury this orb down into the ground. And right now Deku, he does predict that. As right now whenever Shigaraki, he does do this, Deku immediately grabs at it and throws it upwards into the air. As whenever it does start to fly upwards into the air, there actually where Shigaraki, he does leap upwards to try and grab it. Him trying to get ready. If that thing's destroyed, he'll lose stability. If that thing's destroyed, he's gonna die. And right now there actually is whenever Deku, he does fly in. Now, Deku flies past Shigaraki, him uppercutting him before reaching out and grabbing it. And whenever he does so, he actually does somewhat feel himself turn. As whenever he does make eye contact with somebody in the distance, he does actually watch them fly towards him. Now, whenever Deku does go to bring his hand out and try and crush this thing, Shigaraki, he does scream out in immense pain. Now, whenever Deku does land onto the ground, there actually Shigaraki, he does sit there clutching at his head. And right now he actually is trying to reach out and grab at Deku. Him beginning to go feral. Now, there actually is where Deku, he does start to crush it more and more. And Shigaraki, he does just stare at him. As for Deku, he does go to turn, he does watch this other version of him blast and smash at Shigaraki. Him blasting his body away, as right now whenever Deku does start to feel Shigaraki reform from this thing, he does go to crush it in his hand. Now, Deku, he actually does start to try and turn. Him looking at himself, as the copy does disappear. And Deku, he actually does start to try and take a breath. However, the moment he does so, he doesn't feel right. His body, Now, Deku doesn't want to fall forwards. He feels exhausted. He doesn't feel right. Now, Stripes would run over, and whenever she does so, she does watch Deku. Right now, Deku does start to cough up blood. And for Deku to see the amount of it, he's alarmed. Blood? But his quirks. He has regeneration. Why isn't it working? Now, Deku does try to think. As right now, they're actually when Deku does going to turn and look at Stripes. And she actually does see Deku. However, right now she doesn't see the monster. Deku's eyes, they're full of fear. And right now Deku, he doesn't look at her before she does tell him, it's going to be alright. And Deku, he does going to look out towards the sunset. The beach. The sand. He doesn't know. Now, Stripes is trying to tell Deku, trying to get him back to his feet. It's all going to be okay. They're going to go to a hospital, and this being where Deku, he doesn't want to fall into a pile of sand. And her hands, run through all of it. As she does just go to someone and look down at her hands and look down at the beach. What just what just happened? Now, she actually started to call out that was not funny. And Deku, he doesn't even respond. As right now there actually is Deku. Deku doesn't understand what's happening. His body, he can't stabilize. What's happening to him? Why isn't this working? Now, Deku, right now he doesn't understand what's going on. And he feels cold. He feels tired. He doesn't understand. He beat the villain. He won, but what's happening? Now, right now Deku, he falls inert. And Deku currently, he goes dormant. Now, Deku feels strange, floating between life and death. He doesn't understand. Is something wrong with his body? Did he hit singularity? Is he losing control of his quirks? What is this? Now, Stars and Stripes, she actually was quite alarmed. However, she did look over towards the puddle that Shigaraki used to be. That thing right there has no control over its own form. And right now, what's left of it, she can actually walk over to it, inspect it. Whatever that thing is, she won't allow it to reform, if it still does possess consciousness, like Izuku did say. Now, she does walk over to it, and inform it to reform into Tomura Shigaraki. Now, whenever Shigaraki he does go to reform, he does don't get to look around. And right now there actually is where she does stare at him. What does remain of his body? As he actually somewhat starts to laugh at her. Now, she does then give him the direct order. Burn. Now, Shigaraki he does go up in flames. And right now she does Katsuki tell him to burn till there's nothing left. Burn till it's all gone. Burn till he can't burn anymore. Now, just standing there watching him. And right now he tries to scream out. His quirks are failing him. Nothing is working. His body, it won't even disintegrate anymore. It doesn't want to. It gets forced to stay together. And every part of him, it burns to ash. Now, currently Stripes, she does try to give a report. The villains have been defeated. However, Tomura Shigaraki, he was killed by Izuku Midoriya. And Izuku Midoriya, what happened to him is not really known, but his body just sort of disintegrated. Now, there actually was one of the girls that heard about this. Izuku Midoriya was said to have died on the beach. And when the two went there to try and investigate, many pro heroes tried to figure out what the hell happened. They tried to understand what this might have been. However, a few things were found. A spot on the beach didn't seem right. And over pros they tried to look into it a bit more. They actually did find that metal thing. The thing that connected Deku to life. However, it's still here. Shigaraki's was destroyed. And, well, if Deku was destroyed, then this thing, it shouldn't exist, right? If Deku's dead, this thing should not be here, right? Now, the actually was from Mizuki. She actually tried to bring her hand out. Grabbing at it, as whenever she tried to pull it up, it didn't move. And this was alarming. Now, people begin to start trying to excavate the beach. And right now that project, it happened. It took the heroes some time. However, they wanted to get proper order. They wanted to get things properly set up. Rebuild Hero Society. Change it and make it different. And actually save the goddamn world. Save the world they want to create for the next generation. Try and be better. And not have this happen again. Not have the committee turn this well, these people into monsters. Because right now, a monster, it saved their lives. But the next one, they don't know what it will do. Now, they don't know what the next monster will want to do. The committee made their bed and had to lie in it. And right now, the same thing could be said about the villains. Many people died, if not thousands and thousands of people. However, that blame is solely put on those villains. It is solely put on Tomura Shigaraki for using his, well, vile quirk. Now, there actually was whenever something was found at the excavation, and many people were confused by what it was. As right now there actually was the fact that Deku, he was believed to be alive. However, this strange thing, they didn't know what to say. I mean, by all chemical analysis, it's organic, but it's also metallic. It's made of crystal. It's not right. And right now, that's just some of the many things they're trying to figure out. As right now there actually is Deku, who, he does remain inert. And right now his body, it is trying to adjust. His body is made to mutate and continue to mutate under, well, rapid stress. However, one of the quirks that he was given by Shigaraki, it may have saved his life. The ability to, well, be able to be a supercell. Right now his body is trying to recreate itself, handle the stress, and evolve. However, Deku's body, it undergoes an evolution. And right now Deku, he reawakened his own quirk. As right now there actually is where Deku, he does fall forwards. And right now whenever he does Gotoki smash onto the ground, he actually is gasping for air. And right now whenever he does Gotoki look up, he's confused. He's alarmed. He's surprised. Where is he? Now, Deku does look down. His body. What's going on with it? What is wrong with him? Now, Deku does feel overloaded. Right now he hears things that shouldn't be possible. And right now he does hear a voice, as he actually doesn't want to turn his head and blink. Now, Deku does teleport. And right now he actually does Gotoki look around as he's on top of a roof. And he's alarmed. Now, right now a lot of things are happening. As the people who are overlooking this cocoon, they go to investigate it. There was some seismic activity around it. And right now they want to investigate why that was. And then there actually, whenever Deku, he does reappear again. As whenever he is staying there, Doki at UA, he does bring his hands up. And he does Doki walk through the gate as if it doesn't even exist. And Deku is confused, looking at his own hands, as he is going to turn and look back at the wall. What is this? Now, currently Deku, he does start to walk in. And many people, they're alarmed. As right now, whenever somebody does stare at Deku, they do see him. And Deku, he actually does have somebody run up to him before he's actually brought in. Now, Deku currently does sit at UA. As right now, whenever there is a phone call made, there is whenever Mizuki and Ochako do pull up. And the two, they immediately walk in and try to figure out what the hell happened. It was late at night. And right now, they are not in the mood for some fucking prank call. Whoever lied to them about this shit is about to have a bullet put through their goddamn skull. Now, there actually was one for Deku. They walked into the room and he was sitting there. Him immediately turning his head as they do see him. His hair is longer, and his body. Deku's standing up. As Ray does reach his hand out and Rookie grab onto the desk, his arm turns into wood. Him actually looking down at that before bringing his hand up and trying to return it back. but it doesn't work. Why the fuck isn't this working? Now, the two do watch Deku, as Deku doesn't try to tell them that he's confused about what happened. As right now, the two do watch Deku. He stood up, and the, well, blanket he was wearing did fall. And the two do stare at him before looking back up at him and talking about how they are going to need an explanation. Now, Deku he does try to tell them what he can. The last thing he remembers going dormant, maybe? I mean, he doesn't know. But his body didn't feel right. He hit singularity. Now, the two are surprised. And right now Nezu, he does try to tell Deku what may have happened. And Deku, he's alarmed. A year has passed since he presumably died. Now, Deku, he does hear a lot more. The doctor was killed. And right now Hero Society, well, the way they've been reforming hasn't been good. There are ups and downs. But right now there actually is the fact that heroes, they are more open to doing what might need to be done. Right now, the world of heroes is no longer glamorized. It's not looked at through rose-colored glasses. There's a grim reality to it. I mean, people will act out with power. People will lash out with it. And Shigaraki, he's just one example. Deku, he could have lashed out and been a very powerful villain if he wanted to, but he didn't. Even up to his death, at what they presume to be his death, he fought for the side of heroes. And, well, there actually was the fact that Deku, he earned his own rest. Heroes, they memorialized him. And many, they actually see what Deku did as his final action. The action that changed society. Now, Deku is quite alarmed. And there actually is where Deku, he actually is allowed to go home, as right now Principal Nezu, he does want to try and find out what to do. The fact that this happened late at night does say quite a bit. And, well, there's actually a bit more things concerning. They try to analyze that cocoon, try to find out what it was. But the best thing that they can do, or even say, was that it seemed to be quite similar to, what was it? The doctor's experiment on Shigaraki? He tried to, rebuild his body better? From what they can tell, Deku might have been under that same construction. I mean, remaking a body to hold your power. That sounds like something that the doctor did to Shigaraki. But now there's Deku, alive and well, and abilities far more advanced. He might have found out how to avoid singularity. I mean, he directly went away from that wall, but he somehow went past it. This is quite concerning. Now, Deku currently, he does go home. And there actually is in the next oncoming months. People find out Deku's alive. And Deku, he's allowed to live. He's allowed to be given his own life. No more committee, and from what he can tell, heroes, they're actually willing to, execute villains. Many people are going off this new idea for society. Keep each other in line. The committee, they will no longer be involved in many things. They will be looked at in case villains are deemed, innocent, or not a threat to execution. Now, that's where Deku, he does find things to be very awkward. As right now they're actions over somebody, let's just say months later, does Doki knock on an apartment door. And right now they actually are trying to find out what exactly Deku and his girls are up to. Now, their actions whenever Deku does go to open the door. And right now he does look directly at Bakugo, who does stand there asking him exactly if right now he's free. And Deku does go to look at Bakugo, as he does have rabbit ears on his head. And he looks, busy. Huh? Uh, no. Uh, Come by him turning his head, as he doesn't say 2, 3, 4, 4 days. 4 days. Yeah, yeah, listen. It's just a lot's happened, man, and I'm I'm trying to get used to my life. I mean, I'm still discovering things about these powers. I mean, look at this. They could bring his hand up, and immediately materializing gold in his own hand. Telling Buck about how he didn't know he could do that. Now, Deku tries to tell him, it doesn't make sense. All his powers, they've been, well, turned down. And they're only 11. Hmm? 11? You have 11 powers? I know, right? It's insane. I can pull and gain multiple powers, but they're all categorized. I mean, there's the animal kingdom I can pull from. I mean, look at this. Deku turning into a wolf, and Bakugo does watch Deku's entire face change. Before Bakugo does try to tell him, okay, so he's gonna go ahead and leave now. Hmm? Wait, what is it? I do, I do want to actually hang out soon. So, you have my number, right? Yeah, I do. So, you gonna keep them waiting, Mr. Levin? Ah, okay. That's all behind me. Sure it is. But why that name? 11? I mean, little on the nose, right? Was it your powers or it's my lucky number? Lucky number? Yeah, you could call it that. I mean, bad luck first, but it got better. Right. Now, somebody would immediately walk over, them slamming the door closed and telling Deku that right now they need to get back to work. Bakugo, he actually does walk away. And another actually is the fact that he does think about quite a lot that's been happening in the last year. Bakugo and Deku. I mean, what is it? A year and a half? Somewhere? No, no, it's closer to almost what? 1 year, 9 months maybe? Hmm. Somewhere like that. But he remembers almost 2 years ago. Shigaraki died. And the Hero Society, they began to try and rebuild. They began to try and do things a bit differently. Many villains already died, and the ones who didn't found themselves outnumbered by pros. And that was where things got scary. Whenever more and more heroes started to pour into Japan, things started to get better. People were able to be safe. And right now the fact was that many heroes, and even people from the project, they actually started to become pros. And they actually pushed for the idea of what to do. Take out villains who are deemed too extreme to be imprisoned. Basically, if they belong in Tartarus, they shouldn't even be allowed alive. They will be, well, judged, juried, and then, if need be, executed. That's it. If their powers aren't extreme enough, then they can be rehabilitated. However, that's just the problem. If they can't be, then they're on the chopping block. Now, Bakugo is thinking about exactly what to do. And right now there actually whenever he does walk out of the apartment, and he does walk out the door. The receptionist is somewhat talking to Kendo, and shouting at her about exactly what Mr. Levin has done to register so many complaints. Now, fact is, right now Bakugo, he does actually hear Kendo turn and rush back towards him. Her ask him if she does follow him out the door, if she spoke to him. Hmm? I did. And how'd it go? Um, he's busy. So he'll give us a call. Or I'll give him a call. Right. Right. Apparently moving day's big. Maybe. Or maybe things are just different now. He doesn't want to be a pro? I don't know. I didn't really get to ask him that. But his powers are different again. Really? Yup. He tried to give me a breakdown of it, but I'm not too sure. But he's a good guy, I guess. That says quite a bit. Yeah. Yeah, it does. So, Miss Kotsky, where would you like to go? I don't know. How about we take that trip that we've been planning for? The one we've talked about? Right. Right. I do owe you that. Now, the two do currently go to leave. And right now, Deku, he does put down new roots. His mother and father, they died. Again. They all passed. But right now, Deku, he has a lot to look forward to. His entire life. The years of grueling training. The years of survival. The years of fighting. Every time he's survived. Every time he's persevered. The one time he felt fear. The one time he didn't feel like he was invincible. Other than inside that program. Other than his training. And Deku, he may have found it again. He may have found his path back to humanity. And right now, Deku, he's happy. He's curious, though. A family. A family might be in the cards. That's what he does know. Now, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next series.